Muskegon, me, Muskegon County Board of Commissioners candidates, including one of whom the August primary will decide the election, discuss the issues during a local debate recently. The forum was held at Muskegon Community College's Experiential Learning Center at the Tourist Technology Center, 388 West Clay Avenue in downtown Muskegon. Discussion was split into 2 rounds with 3 candidates debating in each section. Candidates Ben Cross, Marcia Hovey-Wright and Zach Laring debated in the previous round. One round featured the following candidates: Real Austin Wilkins, a Democrat and the current vice chairwoman of the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners, who is seeking re-election to the District 1 seat. Her Democratic challenger, Pat Jones, did not attend the debate. Kenneth Mahoney, a Democrat who currently represents District 9 and is hoping for re-election. His primary opponent, Democrat Andrew Haycoop, did not attend. Eric Rothoff, a Republican and an information technology specialist, who also is vying for the District 9 seat held by Mahoney. His Republican opponent, Richard Holman, did not attend the debate. The format included opening statements from candidates followed by several questions covering general topics that were chosen in advance. Other last debate is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. on Monday at the college's downtown campus. The first debate featured Republican candidates in the 34th State Senate and 91st State House races. Admission to the debates is free. Here's how the first round of candidates answered various topics: senior care issues and the closing of Brookhaven Medical Center. Kenneth Mahoney: I serve on the Senior Resources Committee. It's for socialization, food and exercise. Those programs are being funded by this committee. We're expanding and moving forward as fast as we can on new things such as snow removal, lawn care, which isn't essential, but for someone who can't get out of their house, it is essential. Keeping them in their home is not just keeping them in a room somewhere. Brookhaven was housing and nursing home care. The shift has been away from nursing home care and keeping them in their homes as long as we can. The millage was designed to improve the quality of life for those seniors. Eric Rothoff: the senior millage was designed for what it was sold for, to help keep seniors in their houses. That fact that it was used for Brookhaven Medical Care Facility, in my opinion, is exactly not what that money should have been used for. What do all seniors need? I'm not a senior, so I admit I don't know all what they need. The simple fact is that the millage was voted on so it would help the seniors stay in their homes. Real Austin Wilkins: I'm also on the program, and I think it's a wonderful program. The people are doing an extraordinary job because there's so much that seniors need. But seniors need people to talk to. With Meals on Wheels, they get a chance to see a different face. We have to identify and meet the needs for the seniors. We have to hear from you. I know many of us didn't want to see Brookhaven close. But it wasn't getting the residents what they should have gotten. Doctors recommended somewhere else and we could never meet that capacity, 100 a day or a month, something like that. But since we did get rid of Brookhaven, we're in a savings of 23%. We're coming out of the hole so we can be whole again. Economic development downtown and throughout the county. Kenneth Mahoney: as it's pretty obvious, downtown Muskegon is growing with new development, but that's not the only place where that's happening. My area in the Montague-Whitehall area, companies are investing into the community. Tourism continues to grow in White Lake. The accommodations tax revenue in Muskegon County topped over $1 million again. It's difficult to get a room in White Lake in the summer. Montague just announced a development for downtown, a civic center for downtown Montague that is the first major development in Montague at about $8 million. It's not only what's happening downtown, but it's spinning off into the other areas. Blue Lake Township, which is not commercial area, the enthusiasm is there. Eric Rothoff: I'm one who thinks we have to help everyone in the county, not just pick winners and losers. We have to make sure the other businesses can get through all the red tape that's thrown at them. We don't choose and say this company might do better so we'll give them tax breaks. But the other person who can maybe do it better but has to do it on their own is competing against the ones we're helping. For me it's about fairness and we have to make it as easy as possible for businesses to work in the county. Real Austin Wilkins. I'm excited to have it all over. That's one of my goals, to bring in development in Muskegon Heights and elsewhere. As Muskegon grows, we all expand, and I want all of us to rise to the top. All of this new development is going to help us, and I want to make sure it comes to my district. Also, financial support for the proposed $15 million convention center in downtown Muskegon. Kenneth Mahoney. In terms of the county, we don't have money in the game. We are simply providing some funds from the accommodations tax, which is only meant for tourism in the county. The City of Muskegon bonded for this, and will be paid back through the use of the hotels that are going to benefit. It doesn't charge the Montgomery Inn in my district. It's not funding the convention center at all. We're only using those taxes acquired through accommodations. It's an appropriate development that will draw folks to the county. Eric Rothoff. No, I won't support continued county financing of the convention center. That's picking winners and losers. From what I've heard, the county will be providing the money and giving it to one company to run. A convention center may very well be a good thing to have here in Muskegon, but I don't think it's the government's function to do that. Real Austin Wilkins. It is my understanding that our accommodations tax will take care of it. Future millages for seniors, courts and other tax assessments. Kenneth Mahoney. Specialty millages go to the public to decide if they want to invest that money in the item. The board only presents those options to the community. We don't vote on millage or non-millage. With the youth millage, we didn't do a good job of indicating what it was for. The drug, veterans and sobriety courts are all effective. They do a wonderful thing and turn people around and make them productive citizens again. It's important, but again, you have to present it to the citizens. If they desire it, they will pass it and it will happen. Eric Rothoff. In a perfect world, they should not be needed. The county commissioners should decide what's needed and a general fund to provide it. The problem is, we're not in a perfect world. Things haven't been decided the way people want. If you don't trust the county commissioners to make the proper decisions, then yes, a specialty millage would be needed, because that way you can say, here's $6.2 million for the youth and it will always be there. Again, that's people deciding. Real Austin Wilkins. I would support one for training and getting young people ready to work. As we fill up the prisons, they could be getting a solid education instead of paying for those prisons. You just create more residents for the prisons, without education. We must do something for these young people. County jail debt and pension shortfalls. Kenneth Mahoney. The jail itself solved a 30-year problem in this county. We were settling lawsuits on a regular basis because of an old jail. We also had a maintenance issue in the old jail that cost $700,000 to $800,000 a year. So that solved a problem. Now, there were some issues with the financing, and because of the time we borrowed the money for the jail. Detroit went bankrupt, and it was difficult to get a good loan at the time. We have since refinanced those bonds. We have a standard payment per year. It doesn't vary and there's no balloon payment. And it will continue until we're done, but it's a budget thing we can plan on. Eric Rothoff. The jail should not have been built without a millage. The fact that it went not to the people, but the county commission voted for the bonds is part of the reason we're having problems. They were also told that the bonds would be making money for cost savings, and that they would rent out some of the beds. My understanding is that neither of those have come true. As for the bonds for the pensions, that is the reason why I'm running. It's why I'm so upset with that. We still have to solve the problem for workers who we promise the pensions are coming. For me, borrowing $96 million so we can put it into the market with a little bit of interest, assuming it doesn't tank, is something I don't support. Real Austin Wilkins. All of the payments and problems we have were a total surprise for some of us. But it's going to take some time for us to get there. Improving county infrastructure and parks. Kenneth Mahoney. The County Road Commission deals with the roads. The state of Michigan funds that, occasionally. The county has to deal with other kinds of infrastructure, like broadband. The White River area lost real estate deals because executives couldn't connect with their business in Chicago. Anyone with kids knows that kids need to be connected. If you don't have that kind of service in your territory, you have difficulty. There was supposed to be a company delivering broadband throughout the county, but that failed. That kind of infrastructure is important if you're going to support certain areas. The big infrastructure plan is a cross-channel water service line. If you live north of the Veterans Memorial Causeway and you're on city water, if the break comes at the causeway, we have no way of getting water to you. We need another line that will loop around. Eric Rothoff: a big problem we have with infrastructure is accountability from who's doing the work. We have to make sure that they actually do the work they promised and warranty that it stays there. The one that's gone viral is Veterans Memorial Park. While the county owns the property, they're not the ones doing the repairs. It was a nonprofit that got a grant and didn't realize that by removing the dams so the fish could come into Veterans Park, that the waters would go up, and had to make sure they didn't flood the whole park. Now the only thing that the county can do is make sure the group finishes their work and it works like it's supposed to. Real Austin Wilkins: we are working on the Veterans Memorial Causeway now. This is something that will go on into perpetuity. It's been there, and each year, the more work we put in, it gets better. This is what we're going to have to do for the whole county, not just downtown Muskegon, but in Muskegon Heights. We have a lot of people moving in, we need work done on houses. We have to zone in and do it. If one area is sick, all of us will be affected by it. Cutting costs and future budgets, tax incentives for businesses. Kenneth Mahoney: we have been cutting to the point where services we provide are putting citizens in danger. We don't have any extra cash, and you can't cut a whole lot more. We have increased revenues in assessing. We offer contracts to townships to assess their properties and charge them for that. That's revenue to the county. We've offered police officers specifically for their townships and their communities. That's an extra charge if they choose so. There are those things that we've been able to do to get additional revenue to cover the costs we incur. Eric Rothoff: I would do more cutting but look for more revenues. I know the county has been working on a project confirming what services are mandated by the state and through the Constitution, and what is discretionary spending. We first have to determine what we have to do and what we don't have to do, make sure we can fund the things we have to do as efficiently as possible, and not spending extra on it. While discretionary funding might make a few people happy, it's not the responsibility of the county. Real Austin Wilkins: all our employees are trying to make this work. We have other partners out there looking for ways to help this community. It's going to take a combined effort for us to realize the savings we're going to get. It's going to take a while because of where we had to come from. It's going to be difficult.